Hey guys, OPB here, coming at you with a quick video. Sorry for the lighting. It's 5 o'clock here in Canada, 5 p.m. and it's a little bit of a snowstorm out. So with snow in Canada means no light, so here we are. That being said, I want to talk about vehicle readiness, just a general basic 101 to get your vehicle ready. Mechanical wise, make sure it's tuned up, make sure you've got your spark plug changed, make sure you got your brakes changed, make sure you're well, maybe not changed, but make sure they're at least serviced and in good working order. If you have bald tires, make sure you get those changed. Use the proper tires for your environment. If you own a pickup truck, please do not run street tires. All-season tires on a truck are, in my opinion, pretty stupid. You need a minimum of an all-terrain tire. Yes, you're going to burn more fuel, but should you have to hit the dirt, you're going to have more traction than the guy running the street tire, and you can get past them, right? In the winter, run winter tires. I don't know if you guys in the States, in the southern states at least, know about that, but it's a thing. Northern states, I'm assuming that you know about winter tires. I kind of laugh when I see you guys in the States shut everything down for a couple of inches of snow. That's pretty much what we're getting right now, and it's honestly it's a spring day there. This is a pretty mild winter, and I think we've gotten about, I'd probably say about 7 inches of snow, in some spots upwards of a foot. In my area, some areas out in Quebec have gotten far more than that already, waist-high snow even. So in terms of winter, this is going to be 101 winter vehicle readiness, seeing as how that's the season we're in. I'd recommend at least 2 queen-size wool blankets in your vehicle. Some sort of heat, whether that be hot paws, or even like a candle. I wouldn't recommend using it in an enclosed space though, you know, because they can't produce toxic fumes, road flares, safety cones, stuff like that. If you live in an area with lots of trees, maybe consider having an axe in your vehicle. You know, just things to help clear the road in front of you. Maybe you got a couple of, well, you should definitely have a couple of recovery straps and some chains if you drive a truck, and if you drive an SUV, you should have that too. Even having a recovery strap and a chain inside of a car is not a bad idea. If you can have them, tire chains, studded tires, if you are allowed to have those, are great. They help gain traction on ice. Yeah, that's basic 101 vehicle readiness, other than maintenance wise. Other things that I like to keep in my vehicle, personally, I like to keep flashlights in each door panel, first aid kits. I carry a crash bag. Basically, it's a medic kit, military grade medic kit. My wife is a first responder instructor, so should things happen, it's nice to have the capability for her to help render aid, or myself to help render aid. She's far more qualified in that than I am, but we're working to get there. In terms of tools, definitely have a shovel. Even one of those small kid shovels, you can get the plastic ones. Not the ones like you dig in the sandbox with, just like the little kid snow shovels. They're compact. I keep one in the truck, under the back seat. They're great. They can dig you out. Like, it's not gonna be fast, but it'll get you home if you have to dig yourself out, kind of thing. A couple bags of salt even, or bags of sand. That helps gain traction. If you're going to go for traction, I'd recommend sand. Unless you got ice, maybe carry 2 bags of each if you have the space. They're not that big, but make sure it's the bags, not the little bottles you can get, about the size of a milk jug. You can get those. If you got nothing else, that's okay, but I would recommend carrying the actual bags of salt. The calcium pucks that you put inside of your pool, it's the same thing. In all honesty, it actually works better if you leave it on your driveway overnight than salt. It's something I've recently learned. It's a little bit better for your concrete if you're concerned about that. So there's that to think about. Other than that, in all honesty, just make sure that your vehicle doesn't get below half a tank. If you can carry extra fuel, I would. Personally, I like to carry at a minimum an extra 100 liters of fuel. I know that's a bit excessive. I carry them in 5 20-liter jerry cans. Just personal preference in that sense. If you drive an SUV, I get it. You're not gonna have enough room for that. 500 or 5 20-liter jerry cans is pretty much a truck thing. Even if you drive an SUV or a car, if you can carry even 20 liters in a car is good. 40 liters in an SUV is good. Again, it's depending on your tank. That 100 liters will fill my truck completely right from empty. It's only a 92-liter tank or something like that. Just over 92 liters. So I'll actually have a little bit extra, but that's always good. At least that way I know, hey, I can keep going. I don't have to stop. And it's always in the vehicle, no matter what. I do cycle through it every couple of weeks. I'll use that, so at least I know I got only a couple of weeks of fuel in the truck. On property, ooh, I gotta put that 4x4. The snow's kind of deep. So take that back. Instead of 7 or 8 inches, add another foot to that. They haven't cleared this road yet. So there's that. That's gonna be fun. Anyway, sidetracked. That's honestly, that's a good sign if you're out far enough. If it's been blizzarding since for about 6 hours now and your road still isn't plowed, I think you're far enough out there. Time to go be a trailblazer here. So that being said, make sure that you have good tires on. Again, if you live in an area where you have rough roads, or maybe there's bad weather that's frequent, whether that be rain, snow, mudslides, whatever, make sure you have a vehicle that's capable for that. Personally speaking, I think everybody should drive a truck, or at least a full-size SUV. Honestly, unless you live inside the city, like deep city, I think cars are completely useless. Well, not useless, but they don't really have their use in terms of prepping. Can't really do much with it. Like, yeah, it's better than nothing if that's all you can afford, but you pinch your pennies and you can get yourself a used Honda CR-V for decently cheap, and those things are pretty capable. I've seen them go up to 850,000 kilometers, so they'll last. I'm sure some of you guys out there, if you've worked on cars, you've seen them hit 1 million. I've heard stories of them hitting over 1 million. Grand Caravans, my grandfather owned one that hit 1.5 million before the thing died. Turned her over at least twice. So yeah, those things will last if you take care of them. Make sure you keep up on your maintenance. It doesn't take a whole lot to keep up on your maintenance, in all honesty. Like, you might think it's expensive, but as long as you change your fluids and you keep an eye on things, when things start to wear funny, you get on them right away. Because if you keep, like, let's say you have a wheel bearing that's going, if you think, oh, well, I can get another couple of weeks out of that, well, you might just blow your axle, and you say, oh, well, crap, just the axle blow, and then you replace the wheel bearing and your CV shaft, or your U-joint or whatever. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, my differential's blowing. Ask me how I know. I've had that happen before in the past. When I first started getting into prepping, I wasn't really making that much, so kind of let things spool up. I know it's kind of ironic, and you're a mechanic, you don't want to fix your own crap, but you know, I had the parts sitting there. I just didn't really want to use them right away, you know. Try to get my money's worth out of the old ones, so to speak. And well, it'll catch up and bite you. And you don't want that to catch up and bite you when you can't get anything, right? A friend of mine who's having some trouble getting some parts for his vehicle with all these shortages. He couldn't get brakes for his I think Chevy Tahoe. He had like a 94 Tahoe Suburban. Anyways, it was a 94 Chevy, either Tahoe or Suburban. He couldn't get parts for it, which is ironic, so he ended up coming with me into the scrapyard, and we ended up pulling pretty much an entire engine block for him, so that we had an extra engine and all that stuff. Hauled her back in the back of the truck, and lo and behold, he's rebuilt that engine since, because he's like, man, if this thing blows, I don't want to be spending $50,000-$60,000 on a new car. The price of new vehicles are pretty ridiculous, and the price of used vehicles are outrageous right now, and it's not feasible or smart anyways for people to be buying that. In all honesty, if you're paying over $10,000 for a used truck, it's kind of ridiculous. Depending on the year, obviously. If it's a year old, you're going to be paying top dollar for that used vehicle, but still, 10 grand and get you a really decent, capable truck on the used market, or at least it used to. Now I see guys selling $10,000 trucks and they're half rotted out already. Or if not fully rotted out, it's not even worth the money. So try to be cautious if you are buying a vehicle for preparedness. Keep in mind that even if it suits what you do now, you want some extra capability. In all honesty, I could probably get away with a Jeep Wrangler or something along those lines, like a Toyota FJ Cruiser or something. Yeah, sure, it's great. Yes, I haul, obviously, but something that a trailer couldn't do, kind of thing. But having that extra 6-foot bed in the back of my truck, it is a crew cab. So I do have a full-size back seat for people, because people are an asset. I'll get into that later. And I got a little one on the way, so gotta have room for that baby seat. Those things are massively clunky. Didn't factor that in, but sidetracked. Keep a note of your what's in your vehicle too. Glow sticks, things like that. They do expire. They do go bad, especially if they freeze thaw a lot. Like cases of water, I tend to keep a case of water in the truck. I cycle through it every week. In the summertime, I keep 2 cases of water in the truck. There's not normally people that go in the back seat, so I tend to kind of put them on the floor in the back, and then my buggo bag and crash bag and all that, they go in the middle. Hopefully I'll be getting a Lear cap soon. That'll be an interesting build, EDC kind of low profile bug out vehicle build that I'm going to be doing with my truck. It's kind of set up for it now, but it's not quite where I want it to be. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming up. I'm just waiting for one to be able to be purchased, because again, that's on back order and can't get those here. At least not from my truck, not from what I found. Everywhere I've called, it's been out of stock. So the shortage is getting kind of crazy, and it's all manufactured. But won't go down that rabbit hole. I'm sure we could all talk till we're blue in the face about that. Yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can check me over on Patreon. That is up and running now. It starts at $1.50 a month. If you like the content here, please go over there and support me. I'm going to be uploading some videos to there shortly, probably this weekend. And on BitChute, you can find me there as well. If you're not interested in subscribing to my Patreon channel, where it's a monthly subscription, over on BitChute, you can do a monthly or a one-time donation instead of the monthly if you feel compelled to do so. It helps me out, helps to grow the channel, and it helps me create better content. I would like to start switching over to do this full-time. With every little bit, it helps, right? So see you on the flip side. OPB out.